All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone is having an amazing morning. Let's end this week strong. Let's have a good Friday, and hope everyone's having a great week. All right, so let's get into it. We had a pretty exciting day yesterday. A lot of stuff moving. Oracle trading really nice. AMD also moving very well. So let's go over our watches and what we had on here yesterday. So Norm today is traveling. He will not be joining us. Actually, Norm was supposed to fly out last night. He was going to try to join the pre-market show. He was going to be in the Montreal Summit with Andrew for the presentation they have today, and his flight got canceled. So he's actually stuck in Newark. I'm not sure if he got out this morning, but he's got some stuff going on there. Good morning, Peter. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. I am doing fantastic. And you?
Excellent, excellent. Doing good, doing good. Crappy weather over here in the Northeast, but overall, doing okay. All right, guys. So let's get our pen up here. Here we go. All right, guys. This is Epic Pen, by the way, for those that want to know. Very good software. You can change the colors. You can do all kinds of things. You could do lines, squares, and it's absolutely free. So again, very, very good software. I recommend it if you do any type of presentations, just outside of trading, any work or anything like that. It's really, really neat. All right, so let's get into it, guys. We had a very good watch list here yesterday. Let's go over some of the stuff we're watching. We had some low floats here, and then we had some possibles stocks here. And then after I'm done with this, I'll let Peter fill you in on some of the IPOs. We had about 6 yesterday. Peter was calling those out throughout the day as they were opening up. So I'll let him give us an update on how those opened up and what was good, what was bad, and what was ugly. So let's look at our Oracle on here. So Oracle was again just a monster yesterday. Let's look at the daily chart first. First, opened up, gapping up pretty nice. Oracle is one stock that doesn't trade very clean, but yes, when it is in play, it does trade amazing, and it did that just yesterday. So let's look at the action right in here. Right off the bat, you got a very opening up very wide opening here on this indecision candle, and we were watching that in the price action, just didn't know what it wanted to do in this situation. Then once it settled in, it started actually forming a nice opening range breakup. But in here, I didn't trust it just yet because, again, guys, after this indecision candle, you want to wait to get confirmation that we're actually going to be heading north towards the high of the day. And it did just that. So I started heading towards the high of the day. Here you have a real nice pullback to VWAP. That's your signal for an entry to head back to crack towards the high of the day. And it did just that. It cracked it nicely with a lot of good volume and set and buying pressure. You can see here how I went even higher all the way up to this level. Then again, it gives you another opportunity, another pullback here. Buyers started buying this up as well, and then again it goes higher for a couple of more points here. So it's just again an amazing trade on Oracle. And actually in the midday, it also gave you a double top. Here was a double top here that didn't work out, but here's another one. You had this bounce here. Here's another double top right around this level, 57.50 or so, and then this time it does sell off nicely all the way down almost to this level we had here where it did the previous pullback. So again, just a lot of plays on Oracle. Traded very, very clean yesterday. Definitely a stock to have had on your list if you were watching our pre-market show. BYND, we had it on our list as well. Again, very strong pre-market action, but again, lately it's just been very unpredictable. It did sell off nicely, losing the VWAP here early on in the day, and just really riding down this 9 moving average all the way down. But again, this stock is very difficult to find short inventory on, so not one that is easy to short. And the way it's been trading is very difficult to trust this for sure, because at any minute it can just take off on you. So again, very difficult to trade. But yesterday, if you was watching this for the short side, you can see a real nice moving catch of the moving average, nice trend trade all the way down towards 164. Here's MU. MU also had a big indecision candle right at the open. Didn't know what it wanted to do. Had a lot of selling pressure. Once it hit this 35.25, sold off nicely. And then from there, it became a beautiful open range breakdown. Again, it's very little difficult once you have this type of opening, this indecision candle, to take it for a short or a long. But once it lost the low of the day at that time, you can see how it drops nicely towards this moving average. A V reversal right back to VWAP. Cannot sustain above VWAP, and here becomes a beautiful short again towards the low of the day at that time, and then actually you get even lower if you're able to hold some shares for the next level. So MU traded nice. AMD also was very choppy at the open. Again, just pretty much indecision here. But once it loses this VWAP here, it really starts dropping. And then we had the SPY yesterday had a huge drop. We'll look at the SPY in a second when Peter is going to give us an update on that as well. Again, had a huge drop, took a lot of stocks down with them. AMD was one of them. It did recover towards the end of the day. AMD and other stocks did not recover. But again, this one here was very choppy between here and here, just pure choppy. You don't know what direction it wanted to go on. And then here it just started losing the low of the day. And from there, it was see just lost this level here and kept going all the way down. CCL was also one that was extremely active. A lot of you guys caught a beautiful short around this area here. Once it started hesitating here, it lost the low of the day and it came down all the way to almost 46. Then from here, you got a very strong V reversal. This was scary. If you got a bad entry, you could have been stopped out pretty bad here because this happened really, really quick. Look at the 5 minute, how you get up here, hits the VWAP, and then a huge squeeze all the way past the high of the day, past some moving averages, and finding itself some resistance all the way up here. So again, that was a very unexpected squeeze there. But if you had a good entry, you was able to take some out. But if not, you would have been caught with this squeeze here. Then from there, it just kind of gets stuck within a range, heading up and down, up and down between this level here and the VWAP. Not really deciding what to do. Goes below VWAP here and heads back up. But again, it was very difficult to trade during this time. The great moves were here at the open. KR was another one that was extremely choppy, just didn't decide what it wanted to do. It kind of did this bull flag, and I thought it was going to take off here, but it just kept finding huge resistance at the top here. It got stuck within this range right here. Finally broke out, hits the next moving average, but then it just starts settling down again. Again, just gets stuck within this chop here. No continuation on this stock whatsoever. Eventually, it starts losing some of these moving averages, starts heading down, but again, just didn't trade clean in this area here at all. Facebook had a beautiful drop and it just became choppy again. Higher highs, higher low here. So this could have been a good reversal back up to VWAP if you got a great entry early on, setting your stop loss of a new low of the day or a new 5 minute low. Heads up to VWAP, then just starts kind of getting a little choppy here. Again, there's just no clean direction at all. It didn't completely lose VWAP because it's right on and it comes back to it. So it was very difficult to try to get a false VWAP breakout in this area. All right, and then let's look at some of the low flows, right? These guys were on fire yesterday. MLNT took off, I think it was from $4 or something that it opened up in the pre-market, and then it just took off nicely, hitting $8.21. But then at the open, again, just huge drop here. Could not sustain any type of upwards momentum. Comes back, tests VWAP, and then just drops completely. Really not in play. EDSA also the same thing. Again, just very unpredictable. And this is a problem with when it comes to these low flow stocks. It's very hard to manage your risk, right? We talked about risk management in last night in our class 5. Look at this pre-market action, right? You have some good volume here. This was trading very well. Goes all the way up to $14. Then here at the open, here's what gets a lot of traders, right? It looks like it's holding this moving average. You get this possible breakout here, right? You have your levels here. Let me just get it in here a little better. And trust me, I've been fooled by this plenty of times as well in the past. So this is why I don't trade low floats. So I started doing like almost like an uptrend here, right? So you think on this breakout here, you got a little bit of volume, more than the previous candle. So okay, now it could be a possible breakout to head towards 13, maybe 14, right? High of the day, or this clean level here, high of the pre-market. Seconds later, you get this drop from 12 all the way down to $10, right? And then it gets halted. If you look at this is a 950 candle, next candle is 955. So you got a 5-minute halt here. Then when it opens up, it does a little pullback to VWAP, then right back down, another halt, right? So now you're down a couple of bucks if you cannot manage your risk correctly. So this type of stuff does not happen with mid to large flow stocks. This is why these low floats are very, very dangerous, guys. You want to be very careful when trading them. Even with good risk management and having a stop loss somewhere in here, you get caught in one of these halts and it skips your stop. And again, that slippage is not going to be a couple of cents. It could be a couple of dollars. All right, so that is what we had yesterday, guys. Again, a lot of stocks in play. SPY also making some all-time high as well. So let's talk about the SPY a little bit. Peter will walk us through some of that stuff and also some of the IPOs from yesterday. I think Peter you might have your mic muted.
You're right, I did. So sorry about that. Yeah, so as you said, yesterday was an interesting day. It's one of those days I love because if you listen to the news, they were only reporting the fact that the SPY was sort of hitting an all-time high, and there was another great day of gains for the markets. But my experience was that I traded almost everything short. So we had one of those big gap ups. The market actually moved down for the first half of the day, well, actually below the Thursday close, and then pulled back up into the close yesterday. So net, it was probably sort of break even a lot of stuff, but a lot of things I was trading was short. So You know, your experience as a day trader can often be very different than what the media represents, and that's always good to remember. Looking forward to today, though. The SPY is gapping down just a little bit. International markets are also down just a bit, but not anything significant, all less than 1% around the globe as I look around. Energy prices seem to be up a little bit, so I think we're probably going to see sort of a stable or slightly higher numbers today, but we'll see what happens. As Carlos mentioned yesterday, we had a ton of IPOs. 6 IPOs opened yesterday, the biggest of which was Slack, that everybody was looking at. And so this morning, Slack, whose symbol is WORK, W-O-R-K, looks like the best of them. So I'll be keeping my eye on actually all 6 just to see what moves today. But the top of the list certainly is WORK, and we'll see if anything comes of that. I think today I don't have any IPOs on the slate today that I'm really looking for, so it should be overall, I think, a relatively quiet day. Probably one of those, as we call, inside days, which means the trading range will probably be a lot less than it was yesterday.
Excellent, guys. All right, so yeah, so work it is interesting. We'll keep that on our watches as well. Let's clear this up here, guys, and let's see what we got in our gappers list. Let's make some room in here, and let's start with this nasty one, CTRV. CTRV is one that has been in play before, up 47.8%, 2.1 million shares traded, guys, but this is a stock that has a flow of almost 300,000 shares, right? So very, very low flow, guys, very dangerous to trade. Be extremely careful with this one. If you look at the daily, let's remove some of these levels. If you look at the daily chart, you can see how every time it gaps up, it might give you a little run here, but most likely it's selling down. So it's up again today, up another 48%. It's been red for the last couple of days. I don't think you're gonna get these type of huge red runs today like it had here. Like look at this one here, look at this one here, just gapping up and losing everything. I don't think that's gonna happen today because it's not gapping up as much. But again, you just want to be very careful with this type of stock. It's a very, very low flow stock. Next we have AXGT. Go ahead.
So I'm just going to say, yeah, Carlos is absolutely right, guys. If you're looking at CTRV, just look at the news. It's a good indication as to why you got to be careful. So, you know, normally they get approval or positive trials of their drugs. The news today is just the FDA had positive feedback on the future of one of their drugs. They basically said, yeah, it looks like your drug probably won't kill anybody. Stock is up 48%. Like, you know, that's as weak a news as you get for a pop that 50% now, the stock price. I mean, this is, yeah, I'll watch it out of interest. Yeah, I doubt I'll trade this.
That's definitely not going to hold. So here you have AXT, guys. AXT is also low flow, 2.8 million shares flow. So again, extremely low flow. Right now it's got some decent volume, 350,000 shares traded, up 16.6. Daily chart again also looks a little funky. Looks like they were trading under a buck, really a penny stock that came up here to $10 roughly and just kind of been selling off. Had a couple of big red days here and is right back up. So again, just another one, guys, you really want to be careful with this one. Pre-market action doesn't look as strong. It looks like the majority of the move was done here. It's trying to find a base around this moving average. We'll come back to it and see what it does later on in the morning. Here we have ARE down 2.7, 124,000 shares traded, but a really horrible pre-market action. This flow is 111 million shares flow. So again, just doesn't trade very well. I don't think we ever traded this stock, but it looks very, very choppy. Oh, it's a real estate stock. All right, so these are really not tradable, guys. They don't move well at all. So I'm just gonna remove this one. This is a Rio. So let's look at a CUK. So CUK is down 4.7. I'm sorry, 4.2. 161,000 shares traded so far. Here, what do we have? Daily chart doesn't look clean. What kind of stock is this, Peter? What do we have on news here? CUK.
Essentially the same as CCL. It's just sort of a different division of Carnival.
Yep.
So I probably it's better to trade CCL if you're looking to take one of the two of them.
Yeah, this one doesn't trade as clean as CCL. I can see it on here. It says Carnival at the top. So yeah, let's change this one for CCL because CCL is also on our list, and that one trades a lot better than this one here. So CCL, yep, we got some levels already. We'll finalize those levels in a second. So they're down 4.6. They had a down day yesterday, big down day yesterday. Kind of recover a bit, trying to gain some gains to close this gap here. but they're down again 4.6. So we'll see what happens there. And this is based on the news of not being able to head towards Cuba, correct? I think that's the reason.
Yeah, well, the impact of earnings, exactly.
Yep. So got some continuation happening today on CCL. We'll get back on that one and take a look at it closer. MLNT. MLNT is on our scanners today, down 3.4. This one is also a very low flow stock, 100,000 shares traded today. Pre-market actually not looking great. So it looks like yesterday it just gave it all back as we were looking earlier. Again, here had a nice pop. This was the day that the low flow team was playing it. Now here it's just fear of missing out. People that missed the boat yesterday trying to get in here and really paying for it, guys. So it's down 3.4 today. I don't think this is going to be tradable at all. You might get a few spikes, a few fake outs. It happens a lot, right? Because people are still having either if anybody's holding from last night or trying to make some money back, they have that fear of missing out. Emotions kick in. And again, just be very careful with this one. Next we have I see UK. We looked at that already. We're gonna basically watch CCL. Here we have CGC. So we got some of the pot stocks coming up here. So CGC, it is down to 5.4. Its daily chart looks good. Has a nice daily chart here. You can see a nice little range happening. Heavy resistance here. Used to be support a couple of weeks ago, and now it's becoming resistance on the other side. So that's interesting. What's going on with the pot stocks today, Peter? Anything exciting?
Well, CGC, Canopy Growth, did announce their quarterly numbers. They were essentially mixed numbers. So they were their revenue looked good, but their loss in the quarter was a little bigger than expected, and the market doesn't seem excited about their future their forecast. Sorry. So yeah, I think it's going to chop around probably a little bit lower today. Constellation Brands is a sympathy play. STZ, if you wanted to play one of the major companies, because obviously they're a major shareholder nowadays. But overall, when I look across the pot stocks, the Tilray, Kron, CGC, they're all down just a little bit this morning. We'll see what happens into the open.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, so this one, I do like the daily chart on CGC though. It's got a real nice daily here, very clean. You can see some clear resistance and support. So this is the type of daily chart you want to find on your stock. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Next we have BYND. So BYND is on here. Let's see what's going on. Again, it's a very difficult stock to trade. So down quite a bit today, 5.6. Kind of bouncing off this moving average here in the daily. So we'll watch it. But again, this one is one that I don't trade against. It's very difficult to trade. ATR is huge as well. What's the ATR now? We're still up in the double digits. Yeah, $21 ATR, guys. So it's very huge ATR there. It is a higher price stock, and the spread sometimes can be horrible. I've seen the spread when the market is open, and it's not very clean as it is like with an Nvidia or an Apple. Those have really tight spreads. All right, so not much that looking great here. Let's just go through this again, make sure I didn't miss anything. No, that's it. Not much looking great. So Robbie, you got a great question. What is your cutoff for small float, for low float? So usually 20 million, and Peter, correct me if you feel different, but usually 20 million is what you want to cut off as a low float. Anything under this, you got to be really careful. Now, usually there's some stocks that have a 22 million shares flow that trade better, trade very well. 20 million shares flow that trade well. They don't have a huge ATR. They got some history behind it. They're actually some okay companies. But anything under 20, you really want to be careful and really watch what's happening there. Some people actually use 30, right? Some people got rules that anything under 30 million shares float, they're not going to trade, right? So it just depends on the stock as well. All right. Now let's get into NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers. Let's see what's going on here. So we have LGCY. This is a penny stock, guys. Not worth watching. ACWX. What's going on here? 2.6. This is not a tradable stock neither. This looks like a it's a foreign stock at least. Look at this daily chart. So not great. We'll skip that. CTRV. Again, guys, we have this one down here, but again, this is a very low flow stock, very risky. You want to be careful with this. AMD, here we have AMD. AMD has a nice daily chart, actually. Let's watch AMD. Had a big red day yesterday, did not recover the way the markets did. Sold off, and you can see here dropping down, so you got a possible area of some levels. So we'll watch AMD. Next, we have AXGT. We already have on the bottom. NASDAQ ETF, SY, and E also doesn't trade very well. Not tradable. TVIX, what it should be up a bit today. Yep, slightly up since the markets are down. OCUL, is what's going on with OCUL? So what flow is this? It's got some volume, 244. It is up 7.7. OCUL 37 million shares flow. All right, I don't think I ever traded this company before. It looks like it's getting stuck within a range. Not sure how it trades it. It's a lower price stock. We'll throw it on here, but I'm not sure about this one. Peter, you know any information on this stock?
No. Well, let's take a look here.
Yeah, let's see what's going on with it.
It's been traded before. I've seen it on our list before. I don't think
Okay.
I've ever actually traded because it tends to. So they seem to have some FDA approval of a drug application this morning. So yeah, thanks, Aviel. So yeah, that's probably what's driving it. Obviously, that news.
Okay, all right, excellent. So we do have, again, you have a possible breakout here, but it doesn't look very clean, guys. Very choppy or very flat. You can see throughout the day, it's not a lot of activity happening. We'll watch it on here, see if the pre-market action gets better, but not really looking great. Look at this pre-market action too. It's pretty flat. Actually, no, I'm just going to take this one off. Unless you guys see this get better, we'll come back to it, but it doesn't really look good at all. Last one on this column, IGLD. So this is Internet Gold. Yeah, this is not tradable, so we'll skip that. CTRV we have, guys. AXGT we have as well. Two low flows are active today. ACHV not doing much, only 11,000 shares traded, so not enough. MBIO also no volume. MAAG not doing much here, no volume. We have higher HYRE also not doing much, no volume. Looks like this one we looked at in the past. At least we have some levels here. Riot used to be one of the ones we used to trade a lot during the blockchain period, not doing much today. And then we have me here, MEET, not doing a lot neither. And then last one here, VSTM. VSTM is not doing anything either, no volume. All right, guys, so we don't have a lot of great stuff going on with good pre-market action and volume this morning. Let's see some of the favorites. And also, Peter, what do you have? I know you're watching work today.
Yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on work. A number of people mentioned KMX, which I just looked up. They had their earnings and they beat estimates. So I've watched it in the past. It hasn't always moved great, but the daily chart looks pretty good on it, actually. So we'll see if it gets some volume after the open, because really is not much going on yet. But we'll certainly, I'll put it on my list.
All right, excellent. All right, so here where we have KMX, it is got some volume, 103,000 shares. Should be coming up here now that it's over 100,000. Yep, there it is. So now pre-market action looks okay. Just needs more volume. Hopefully it can get going here. It is all-time high as well. We're all-time high with this one here. Yep, nice. All right, so all-time high makes it interesting. We just need to get the volume and get a good pre-market action going here. So we'll watch this one. What else you guys have on your end that you like this morning? So we have KMX. Let's look at some here.
NLYC.
Over on YouTube.
Yeah, sorry, YouTube EPZM.
Yep.
ZM.
That's the one I was going to go to. Yep, EPZM here. Doesn't have the volume. I see what you're looking at. It's got 8.1 gapping this morning, but really no volume, no activity. So if you look at this right now, it's just not much going on. Daily looks interesting because you have this beautiful pop here on whatever news or whatever action is causing that, but just the pre-market action not looking great at the moment. Maxime, my email address is carlos@bearbootraders.com. You can reach me there if you have any questions or anything. No problem. Let's look at Shop and Cron. Yeah, work we have. So work we're definitely going to watch that one. Recent IPO. So Shop at the moment, again, guys, just no volume here. It's got a nice uptrend over the last couple of days. It's been really strong. Going just in April, sitting at 200 here, consolidating from there. It's taken off and done a really beautiful uptrend here, following this 20 moving average. So again, just trading very nice. But right now, really no activity at the moment. Had a beautiful day yesterday, another big pop here. So if you see after every big pop, you have some consolidation period happening, right? So big pop, consolidation. So it could be doing the same thing today, kind of getting ready for a consolidation if it's going to continue to be as strong as it's been over the last couple of weeks. Really nice. CORN, and we'll take a look at MU next. So CORN, not much activity. CGC looks to be the one to be really active this morning. So if you look at CGC, they got the volume. they're down quite a bit. They got the pre-market action going as well. They got some good activity here, especially right after 840, right? Look at this nice range here with some volume. So this is looking pretty good on CGC. That looks like to be the one to watch today out of the pot stocks. Next we have MU. Let's take a look at MU here. Let's look at the daily, because the pre-market action MU is going to be the same almost every time unless there's something really crazy happening. So MU again just dropping down here, just probably really following the market, right? The market dropped yesterday and it recovered. MU and AMD did not recover. They're down quite a bit today, 1.3. Again, you got some good areas of support down here as well that we can mark on MU. So we can throw MU on here. Let's see what develops. We have NAAB here. So this one right now is, yeah, it's got some volume, just hitting the scanners, guys, but not really much activity. Just 112,000 shares traded. If you look at the pre-market action on the 1 and the 5, it's not looking really great at the moment, so it needs more volume. They're down 16.4. Daily looks interesting. What do we have in regards to support levels around this area? Right, we're sitting right at a support level. You can see here it's bouncing right on from there in the current price action. Peter, any news on Anna B, ANAB?
I was looking at that. There doesn't. I can't find any specific news on it. I don't know if any of you guys out there have anything. So I'm not sure what's driving it this morning. It's the daily looks just sort of choppy to me, and this pre-market action is really weird, isn't it? Like, look at the 1 minute. It looks like a bunch of, because if you look at the volume, it's sort of 1,000 shares each, and they're like a bunch of unrelated trades that just happen to be going up.
Yeah, exactly. So not looking clean.
I don't know what to expect of it. It might be interesting, but I just don't know. I don't think I've ever watched it before.
Yeah, pre-market action is not looking great on it. Let's look at Roku. So we have Roku. What else do we have? Let's check, see what Roku is doing this morning. Again, not much going on Roku. Let's see what the daily looks like. Again, Roku just could be consolidating here for their next attempt to go higher. Again, they keep breaking all-time highs almost every week, seems like. So we'll see what happens out of Roku today. Today's gonna be one of those days, guys, where we watch the scanners. Again, it's a summer Friday. Things can be very choppy, but we do have some that are looking okay. So CCL so far all right, it's got some volume, okay pre-market activity. CGC's got some good pre-market activity here, dropping down now, so that's good. BYND's looking so-so. AMD, it's all right. We've seen better out of AMD. Work's got a nice pre-market action, so that one looks good for a recent IPO. This looks very clean. KMX also, it's got a good activity, but doesn't have the volume, right? So it's got a nice little range here, but just with no volume, still sitting at 111,000 shares traded. It needs to get more than that. I do like the daily, has a nice pop breaking out of this $85 range here, so that's good. But again, it just needs more volume, needs more activity. MU as usual, and Roku, not much going on. All right, guys, let's get into some announcements, and then we'll finalize this list, fine tune it, and see if there's anything else that pops up that looks better than what we have so far. Go for it, Peter. You with me?
Oh, sorry. I was actually answering some questions. What were you prompting me for?
Announcements. You could tell, guys, it is a Friday here at the Bear Bush Traders pre-market show.
There you go. All right. Thanks a lot. Sorry about that, guys. So it's finally Friday, which means after the market close, I'm heading off to Montreal. We're going to have a meetup with a number of members there, so I'm looking forward to that a lot. That'll be tonight at 8 o'clock. The information's on our website, and the link is above in the chat. Everybody's welcome, so anybody listening on YouTube, if you wanted to join, even if you're not a BBT member, but you're in the Montreal area, we'd love to have you. It would be great. So you should be able to get access information. It's at the Trois Brasseurs in somewhere in Montreal. I'll find it when I get there. That'll be good. And then on Saturday, tomorrow, Andrew's going to be speaking at the Montreal Traders Summit. So that's an all-day trade event, and that should be interesting. Looking forward to that. After that, as we've been mentioning, in July, we're going to be having Dr. Brett Steenbarger, who's going to be joining us. So that's July the 26th. We're looking for your questions. You can submit those into the forum, and that should be a fantastic event. If you've never heard him speak, it's well worth your time. always food for thought. He is sort of one of the masters in sort of trading psychology and trading strategy and how to improve yourself and your trading. So that's well worth your time. Mark off the whole day. I don't think we have a time for it yet, but once we get that time, we'll certainly let you know. Wanted to put a reminder for our members that if you're a lifetime member, coming up, we do have a lifetime member webinar that'll be held on the 27th of June. So that's at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. That will be sort of as we usually do. I think that's in the Learning Center in our training room. And that's always, again, a good time to ask your questions in advance. We sort of sit and answer them for our lifetime members. It's a little extra bonus that they get, and it's a good time to sort of pick people's brains in terms of things you want to, key questions you want to get answered. As always, we're here in the room all day, so I'll be back on the mic in the afternoon as we take you through what's likely to be a slow Friday afternoon, but hopefully we get some good movement in the morning, because the Friday mornings often we get some good little moves in the market. Even if we don't have a big list, we will watch our scanners, and there's always something to trade. So I'm looking forward to today. I'm looking forward to tonight in Montreal on the weekend, and I think that's it for announcements.
All right, excellent. Just looking over this gappers list here, it's a lot of slight red in here, so pretty much a lot of stocks in the red today, besides these up here. So we have another one coming up, CLDR. We traded this one before. Sounds familiar. CLDR. All right, it's a lower price stock. This is a low flow. It's not a low flow. It's 239 million shares float. And I remember trading this before. Yeah, and the gap down day. They had a huge gap down a couple of weeks ago, a week or two ago. Don't remember what the exact news was, but it looks like they're breaking out. So there must be something coming out here today on CLDR. Let's just check Benzinga, see if there's any news that's popping up causing this movement on CLDR at the moment. It looks like it just happened, whatever it is. Nope, nothing on Benzinga yet. We'll see if anything else comes up. But again, they're getting pretty active here. Volume is climbing very, very fast, up 9.4. So could be worth taking a look at this and seeing what develops out of there. It's not a low flow, guys, but it is a lower price stock. I am going to put it down here with the risky pile, just to be aware that I cannot take a full size on this type of stock, right? You got to take a half a size or you know, a set number of shares, not your full position on this one, because it's just too low flow. You want to be able to, not low flow, I'm sorry, too low price. You want to be able to manage your risk. But clearly something going on here, breaking out of these ranges here, and it looks like it wants to head up to 7 over there. What's going on?
As Devin and Marek are saying, they just announced a strategic partnership with IBM, so that's obviously big news for a company the size of Cloudera, and that's driving the stock. So we'll see how far that carries them this morning.
Oh yeah, right. You throw a name like that, like IBM, next to a stock like this one that probably nobody knows, and yeah, you're gonna get some movement out of there. So very good. All right, guys. So let's look at this list. Let's finalize it. Let's get rid of the week, and let's make this as fine-tuned as we can. So starting with CCL. CCL had a nice day yesterday. Again, very big comeback yesterday after gapping down quite a bit. Let's find some levels. We got high of the pre-market at the moment, sitting around 40. Hold on a second. I got this right. Why is this not? Oh, that's okay. Here it is. 40.23. There we go. So 48.23. High of the pre-market. Low of the pre-market. Right below 46. Around 46.50. Am I getting this? Why is this looking weird? It's 45.74 here, but I see 46.50 here. That's very strange. Something is not adding up with these numbers, and that's what's throwing me off. Give me 1 second, guys. Not sure if you're getting that as well, Peter. Check that out on CCL. Or is it just me? Something doesn't seem right on the low of the pre-market here.
My pre-market low is showing at
okay, I think it
yep. So at 6 a.m.
Yep, I got it here now. I see it here, 45.69. Okay, so good. 45.69, guys. Low of the pre-market on CCL. High at 48.23. Perfect. All right, so then prior to that, if we lose this bottom, 45.69. What's the last time we've been down here? Because it is heading down today. We're gapping down 4.8. All right, well, here's the next level we have within this area here. So we have a few. We have this one here, 45, and then we have this one very clean down here at 44.16. So 2 more levels towards the bottom in case we decide to lose this low of the pre-market at 45.69. Towards the top, we have the high of the pre-market, 48.26. That's a long way to go from 46.47 where we're at now with the price. I'm going to mark down the close of yesterday, 47.24. That could be an area of some resistance on the way up. So we'll mark that down as a possibility. Next we have CCG. So CCG is heading right back down here. High of the pre-market at 40. Oops, changed the wrong chart. High of the pre-market at 44. Right at 44. So we already have that marked down because you already have your high from yesterday right on there. So your high from yesterday sitting right on here. You have the high of the pre-market right, slightly right above it. Between the high of the pre-market and the price action now, you got plenty of levels. Don't think you need to add any more, guys. You have this one here, some moving averages, another one here based on the highs and lows from 2 days ago. And then once you start getting into this area, the low of the pre-market will be 40.65. So we'll mark that down. And then towards the bottom, obviously very clean level here at 38. It's a long way to go. I don't think we'll get there today. Anything's possible. But then you have a very nice clean level here being tested 3 times around 40. So you have this test here, this one here, and this one here, testing that level at 40. So as we know, guys, from the classes, every time a level is tested more than once, it becomes a stronger support and resistance. So that 40 could be a good area of support if we start heading south. So very active right now. Pre-market action looks good. It's got some good volume. CGC is definitely in play today. BYND, as usual, has got okay volume. Is down today and active 6.8. Low of the pre-market sitting at 151. Low of the pre-market, and then prior to that, you got a level all the way down here. Nice moving average, 135.20. You can kind of see that range too in here with several days opening and closing around those 2 levels. Then towards the top, you got plenty. I'm not going to add any more, guys, because you got plenty of levels here. Highs and lows from the last 2 days, previous day close, and then some levels up here from the previous all-time high, not including this one, previous all-time high in here. So again, BYND for me is one that's very difficult to trade, very hard to find inventory for short. So I am going to remove this one from my list, but it's one that you can, and again, if you're your type of stock, you definitely watch that one today. I expect it to be active as it's been every day. AMD is nice. I love the daily chart on AMD. Just going to remove these levels so things don't look congested. Clear level of support here on this moving average. So I'm going to mark this down, 28.53. Low of the pre-market at this time, we tested 29.55. So we'll see how that acts when we get down. It looks like we might want to test that one more time, that 29.55 low of the pre-market. And then between the low of the pre-market and this moving average, there's a level right on here. I'll tell you why I like this level. This 29.15 roughly. So you have several days testing this 29.15. You have this one in here. You have this one in here. And then you also have this date right over here. So again, three daily levels testing that 29.15. So that could be a good area as well for support. On AMD towards the top, you got plenty previous day highs, previous day close, highs and lows as well within this area. So again, the AMD's daily chart looks good though. It's got a nice little pop here, lost it. Then here you have yesterday had a very nice red day, and now we're gapping down quite a bit. Could just be with the market, guys. So take a look at the SPY if trading AMD. As you know, AMD and MU can be affected by the way the SPY movements if they make drastic movements towards one side or the other, up or down. Here, work, again, not much levels on work. Just going to mark down the high of the pre-market. That's all you really have. The rest is the high and lows from yesterday and the previous day close. So we'll keep it as that. Right now, pretty active in the pre-market. Of 1 million shares traded so far, and they're up 3.1. So again, just very active on this stock. I'm sure shares for short are going to be very difficult to find on this recent IPO. But again, it looks very active this morning. KMX. See what we got going on here. So pre-market actually still not looking great. It has 132,000 shares. It is hitting all-time high. So this is one thing that I do like about this one. High of the pre-market right now, 87.08. If we head down towards the daily chart, let's see what the next level of support could possibly be. You have this day right over here at 85. That could be a good support. And then at the moment, low of the pre-market sitting right between the high from yesterday and the previous day close and a moving average. So don't really have to mark that one. I mean, you could if you want to, 83.30. But again, just very close to a lot of support from the previous day close already. So that's what we have here in KMX. Again, pre-market action is not looking too great, but it is at all-time high, so we can expect some kind of reaction out of this throughout the day. MU, usual pre-market action, but I do like the daily, although it could be dropping with just the market. I like the fact that it's down today. So here we have a level of the pre-market low at a 33.34. Very clean level right in here, guys, 32.90. Another one all the way down here at 32.18. Towards the top, you got plenty highs and lows from 2 days ago, all in this area here, and you also have the previous day close, so don't need to add any more towards the top on MU. For MU, it will just be, can it give you a clean movement at the open, right? Remember, yesterday was very choppy before we actually started trading nicely, so make sure to wait 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and let the market tell you what direction it wants to go in. Roku, not doing much right now. Pre-market action is pretty crappy, so I'm going to remove this one and look for it in our, if it hits our gapper scanners, our turbo scanners or our turbo breakup, we can look at those. CLDR is active. They got some news of partnership with IBM, so let's mark some levels here in case this thing decides to take off and give us a good opportunity. High of the pre-market 644, and then above this you have a level right at 7. You got a moving average right in here, 689. What do we have before this thing really dropped like this? I think you have plenty. 689, I think it's a good level. The next, you got a very nice gap here that this thing might want to close. Again, hasn't been down here in quite a bit. I'm going back now to 2018. I think this is all-time low. Yes, it is. All right, so it's all-time low. So the next level really above this moving average is this this one here, this 853. Start closing this nice gap we have here. So this will be good to watch because again, it's breaking out from the last top that it had the big gap down. Is breaking out of this range here as well. Already broke out of it, hitting 643. So this one could be interesting today if this news is really some serious stuff. AX GT, guys, is a lower flow stock. So again, you want to be just very careful with this one, guys. Right now, it looks like it's bottoming down here, rounding out at the bottom and trying to head higher. But again, this daily chart's horrible. I'm just going to remove this one, guys. I'm not really going to watch these slow flows today. Or any day really. CTR, another one that is good for the low flow team. I'll keep it on here, but again, guys, just be very careful. 300,000 shares flow. And MLNT, not really doing much, guys. Doesn't really have a lot of volume, so I'll just remove this one. So again, for the low flow team, I think the one that's the best right now if you're trading a CTRV, but again, you really have to watch your risk on this one. Only 300,000 shares. Flow. All right, guys, so this is what we have so far. We're coming up on 9:12. Brian will be on in a couple of minutes. He'll go over his list as well and see what he likes this morning. We got a couple of minutes. We got 3 minutes. Anyone else watching anything they like this morning that they want us to take a look at?
Carlos, there's two that people are mentioning, but anyway, so you can take a look at them. MOC. I'm not seeing a lot on it right now. It's actually a weird stock. The only news I see is that they regained compliance. The daily chart, if you look at it, they were sort of happily going up.
Which one is this one?
Just fell off a cliff. MOXC.
MOXC. All right. Yeah, I don't see much going on. It's missing some volume. Wow, it's a nice big drop here, down 47, 47.2. What is the float on this?
It's a little funky to trade. The other one is Aurora Cannabis, ACB. Again, no good pre-market, but it came up on my gappers list earlier, but it seems to be off it now.
Yeah, because it's just probably slightly hit that 2%. All right, it's at 1.6 now, so probably in this area was hitting 2%, and it came on the scanners. My
experience with is, guys, I've watched a lot during the day. I found it always hard to trade. There's a lot of sort of algorithm trading going on in there. It can be hard, I find, to get good motion. Like if I'm going to trade something, I'd rather flip over to CRON or CGC, as they're in the same industry and they generally tend to move similarly, and they're a little bit easier to trade.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. CGC and Cron are a lot easier to trade than ACB. And also the other one. What's the other one? APHA, I think it is. APHA. Yeah, here's the other one also got the similar chart. This one's also slightly difficult to trade opposed to Cron and CGC. All right, guys, so that is what we have. So we are going to be watching this. Brian is going to come on in a bit. He'll talk about his stocks. Here's my watch list for today. If anything becomes better, I will replace these. Alex Andrew actually is in Montreal. He should have flew out last night, but I know the weather here was horrible. He was going to try to trade this morning. I'm not sure if he made it to his hotel in time. I know Norm got stuck. His flight got canceled. He was trying to get out of Newark today. He's probably on a plane right now. Weather's clearing up a little better over here, but this morning was crappy. So that's the situation there. So, all right, guys, thank you for watching on YouTube. Again, as usual, it is Friday, so you know what that means. You're going to be very careful today. You want to make sure you end the week well, be very disciplined, go into the weekend knowing that you traded well and follow your rules. I know I say it every Friday like a broken record, but it's important to hear it. Trading is all about repetition over and over again, looking at these same patterns over and over again, and making habits just basically second nature over and over again. So trade well, be disciplined, have a great Friday, and I will see you guys next week at 8:30 Eastern time. If not, some of you guys are going to Montreal. You will see Peter and the rest of the gang there. Take care and have a great weekend.
Look forward to seeing anyone who's going. Yeah, have a great weekend. Have a great trading day, everybody.